I'm grateful to have very smart people around that know what needs to be done and they want help, and it helps them and it helps me, and we all win, right? I think you
Absolutely.
mentioned.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Working together.
Sometimes they're discounted
Yeah,
because the owners they are more interested in what's gonna happen with the business. So sometimes they
yeah,
don't even want so much money. They just
right.
want that you have the same value, that you resonate, that you're gonna treat the employees well, that you're gonna
That's right.
help the community, and if you match those values, you can you
Definitely
can get
have
a
a
huge discount, right? And
right.
uh, and
And
this is
still
just to have a conversation, right?
right.
Mm.
Communication and
So
problem solving, really. Just you're
mhm,
solving their problem and you're helping to communicate so that everyone feels good about what the outcome is.
mhm. So and the next question is about financial education and financial freedom from the entrepreneur side of it, because we do talk about this in this a lot about this podcast. I always share with the entrepreneurs. See, I've been there, I've done it myself, right? So I
Yeah.
speak from my own experience. You have a business, and because you don't have experience, you have a business, you're making some money, then you reinvest in the business, you're making more money, you reinvest in the business, you're making more money, you reinvest in the business, and then one day COVID happened,
Yes.
uh, a recession happened, and advanced technologies, you're out of business, and all your life work disappear, and you have nothing.
Right.
And then you are in you're growing old, and now
Right.
you don't have the same energy, effort, because of the lack of financial literacy or the financial knowledge. Whether something more that will make more sense is okay. You have a business, you're making money, you take this money, you buy a house. With the profit that this house giving to you, you rent it out, and the rest, after you pay the mortgage, you take this money, then you can use it for marketing your business. And then when you
Mhm.
make a little bit of money, maybe you buy another house, and then or using it now another vehicle, or you buy another cash flow business
That's
that is
right.
actually related to your business, and it has more solidity than yours because I've been there for 20 years, and
Yes.
now you can expand your business in a more consistent way,
Hmm.
and diminishing your risk. And what is happening is that uh, even if you go out of your initial business, well,
Yes.
which can happen because COVID can happen, recession can
Yeah.
happen,
Changes.
uh, technology changes happen, and overnight, if I tell you stories, businesses have been there for 20 years, for 30 years, and a
Yeah.
young kid with 19 years old wipe them out
Right.
in a
Right.
week.
Right.
Because these are the times that we're living today, right?
Right.
So the whole point is that what can we do in order to open the mind of possibility and to get financial education for the entrepreneurs? Because again, we believe from this podcast that entrepreneurs should be healthy, wealthy, and happy, and they should be live the life that you are. They deserve to travel. They deserve to be rest. They deserve to be healthy. They deserve to go something, because at the end of the day, our insurance or everything as an entrepreneur, it goes in the different routes. At least in United Kingdom, we are the last thing of the change in order to get benefits. On top of that, that we take all the risk. Uh, so, but
Right.
they do deserve
Mhm.
a good return. They have worked hard and built stuff and they have contributed enormous to society, especially creating jobs. But
Yes.
again, it happens a lot. And if you listen to this podcast, you will hear hundreds of stories that people share here. I beat that business. Guess what happened? This happened. I lost $1 million, and hardly had to start from zero again.
Yes.
Thanks God that I managed.
Mm-hmm.
And I repeated something else, but they have to. Some of them are working twice, some of them 3 times, some of them
Yes.
already lost count how many times they have worked. Where if they design so much sustainable, if they want to do it because they want to, not because they have to, it's completely different dynamic. It will
It is.
create bigger mental health. So how can we close the gap between teaching or giving more tools to entrepreneurs to on the to get more financial educating or to become good investor or great investors? Because a good
Mhm.
entrepreneur doesn't mean that you're a good investor.
That's right.
Completely different. And if a good entrepreneur is a bad investor, all the money that he's making, he's gonna lose it.
Right. Right. It's
So
how much money you get to
how we
keep.
close that gap? Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. It's not how much you make, it's how you keep. And to keep it, you need to learn and be good in the other side. And nobody talks about this. Everybody's
Mm.
leaving that for later. Ah, no, I don't want to hear. I'm so busy in my business trying to make this work. Forget about that. I don't want to learn about
Yeah.
anything. And
Yeah.
then, so how can we close this gap?
I think you're right. It's education. My grandpa, that same grandpa, told us to always keep the gas tank half full. And I think that counts for money, for health, for happiness. Do all the things that create that balance. Keep learning. I read Dan Sullivan books, own
Wow.
books, lots of education so that what was in here, I could actually use it to make my life into the framework that I wanted. And I think sometimes we think, oh, I'm finished with school, I'm done with college, or I'm done with high school, or whatever, and we don't keep learning. I think that's a really good way to stop growing and stop having fun. We want to keep learning and we want to have more fun and create great memories and magic, like you've talked about, all the wonderful things about our life. Um, and I think we do ourselves a service if we just like, what if you just buy one piece of real estate and then you use that piece of real estate to buy another one, like you said, right? My grandpa, he had several pieces of real estate and several different businesses because, like you said, if one of them changed or something happened, he was keeping his gas tank half full. He didn't have to stay
So
awake
how
at
he
night.
learned it? How he
He
learned that? Who taught him?
he, you know what? I should have asked him. I should have asked grandpa
Wow.
lots of questions about that while he was still
Was
alive.
great entrepreneur. What a
Missed it.
vision, right?
But I think
A
he just was
visionary, yeah?
he wanted to make sure that if anything happened with one thing, everything else was okay and that he didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
worry. He was grandpa. I didn't know he was doing all of that when he tried to tell me that the word can't wasn't in his dictionary.
Wow.
And I think so we just need to keep learning, always be learning. And when
Was he
things,
alive when you decided to become an entrepreneur and start to do? You told
by
him,
accident,
Grandpa,
yeah,
actually, I'm gonna start to buy this house by
yeah,
my own, and I'm
yeah,
gonna go to the gym. Was he
yeah.
happy or he was concerned and he told you, no, 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 you're my little
No, he was
granddaughter, find a job, find a
right.
corporate job. That's what I want for you. Yeah,
No, he
that's what Grandpa told. Or he was all over excited, like, yeah,
yes, he
she's gonna
actually,
be free.
yeah, I know. No, I think he really wanted us to enjoy our life and to have happiness,
And
um,
freedom.
and freedom, time and money and health and all the things that you've mentioned. Because really, if you have all the time in the world but you don't have any money, there's still happiness, but some bills. You said, food, water, clothing, just, so I think it's a balance. And not, I've had a friend say, it's not so that you have so much stuff that you can't help people. Like people are always going to be more important than things. And I think Grandpa was trying to say that even while he was buying more than one piece of real estate and more than one business, I still always knew that the people were most important, that he wanted to provide jobs for those people and he wanted to help them, right? And he was alive when that pink slip happened. And my last conversation with him, when I was like, Grandpa, We have a rental and the house we live in, and
How we sort this out?
And he said, Ann, don't lose your health over this. Things will work out. I think it comes down to our, like you said, the belief. We believe that there is a way, and we ask ourselves, how can I, and what if?
How can I do it?
What if I could find someone that could help me have the down payment I need for this thing? What if I could someone who already knew how to buy businesses that way? What if I could find someone that would help me to manage that piece of real estate so I don't have to spend my time doing it? Because they're going to, I believe in people who are better than you and letting them help you to do it. Because I already know there are tons of people on my team that are better than I am at so many things.
Yeah.
But
in my team, they're better than me at everything. All of them.
Their help.
They're brilliant.
Yes, I'm grateful to have very smart people around that know what needs to be done, and they want help, and it helps them and it helps me, and we all win, right? I think
absolutely.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.